Welcome to today's Pilates session. Let's start with our feet. First of all, just lifting one foot and then the other. So you're just treading on the spot, lifting one heel and then the other. While you're doing that, circle your wrists. So our focus today is on flexibility. Think about standing tall though and looking ahead. Good. Now lifting your knee and hip, opposite arm, opposite leg. And then just some little half squats. Warming up ankles, knees and hips. Good, let's take opposite arm, opposite leg out at the sides. Back to those squats, a little bit deeper now. And then standing tall, taking one leg back as your arms come forward. Again, alternate legs. And then let's take those legs a little bit wider. So a nice low squat. Let's come back to our feet again. So just placing your toe on the floor, circling your ankle. A couple of times one way and then back round the other way. Try it with the other foot. One way and then the other way. Now you may find that easier to do with your foot off the floor, but you've got to balance. One way and then the other way. And you might get a little bit of clicking going on. Good for your balance though, to practice it. Okay, place your toe back now, so you're just stretching your foot. And then the same with the other one. Take the toe back, so you're just stretching that foot. Now you may want to hold on to a chair or the wall. See if you can come down as low as you can. So getting a nice stretch in those calves. And you can have a little play with that. So let's try it with those legs a little wider. I can tuck my tailbone down a little bit more now. And you may prefer it with your feet turned out. Okay, wiggle those feet back in and let's do a little bit more hip mobility. So either with your toe on the floor, opening in the hip, or with your leg lifted, opening in the hip. Again, keep your shoulders and upper body facing forward. So it's just opening in that hip socket. Change legs. So again, either with the toe on the floor, or leg lifted. Now this time, circling, oops, just falling over, circling your leg. So leg goes round in a big circle. Stirring in that hip socket. Again, you can slide your toe along the floor or try and balance without falling over, foot lifted. try it on the other side. Stirring either with your toe or foot hovering off the floor. Alright, lifting your right knee, opening that gate, round and down. And then your left knee, opening. So really mobilizing all our joints as we work our way up our body. Alright, think about tucking and tilting your pelvis now. So just working from here, tucking and tilting the pelvis. So we're trying to keep the rest of the body fairly still. Good. And then side to side. Now imagine you've got a hula hoop. Can you circle your hips round? One way and then the other way. Alright, flexing from side to side as we work through our spine. And then rolling forwards. And rolling back up. Let's do one more. And then a little bit of rotation in your spine. So arms out and just twisting. All right, roll those shoulders. Roll them forward. And then just tilting your head to one side and then the other. Turning your head to look over your shoulder. One way and then the other. Good. Now let's come down to the floor for a little bit of wrist mobility. Hands and knees. Fingers pointing forwards, and we're just going to rock forward and back. So don't have your hands too far forward. So allow that weight to come into your fingertips, into the heel of your hand. Spread your fingers, push them into the floor. And let's take them side to side. And then if you're able to, turn your fingers round towards your toes. And knees. So fingers pointing to your knees. Lovely stretch on those wrists, particularly if you've been at the computer. Okay, give them a little shake out. And you may want to circle them a couple of times each way, or wiggling them like a snake up and down. Brilliant. Okay, let's come on to our hands and knees now. So a bit more spinal mobility. Cat-cow, rounding your back. Tuck that tailbone. Rounding your upper back, tuck your head. And then tilting from the tailbone of your spine as you lift it up, letting your tummy drop, drawing your shoulders back, lifting your head. So again, tuck that tailbone as you tuck your pelvis, scoop your tummy in, rounding between your shoulder blades, tucking your head. So just moving from one position to the other. Imagine working up your spine, one vertebra at a time. Always starting from that tailbone, from the end of your spine, tilting and tucking. Now take your hands a little further forward. Bring your weight forward so you're straightening your thighs, a straight line from knees to hips to shoulders. Roll down your thighs as you lower your tummy to the floor. And then push yourself back up again. Have a little pull halfway back. So let's round that back. Like an angry cat. Look forward as you bring the weight forward, a nice straight line first. Elbows bending as you roll down your thighs, hip, tummy and chest. Push back up again. So just getting mobility in your spine. You're also getting a little weight bearing in your arms. Always good for increasing our upper body strength. Okay, on this last one, we're going to stay on the floor. So lying down on your tummy. Okay, let's have those arms out at the side, elbows bent. So chin tucked, just lifting your upper body. Keep your arms relaxed on the floor though. So we're just working on flexibility in that upper spine, our thoracic spine. Relaxing there. Take your arms down besides the side of your legs. And again, let's just lift up, slowly and down. Keeping that chin tucked, eyes looking down at the floor, so your neck stays in line with your spine. Imagine wrinkle-free neck. Squeeze your shoulders back. And then just relaxing your head and arms. So with our legs, we're going to do a little hamstring curl today, bending one knee as you do 2 little pulse kicks and then the other leg. So pulling heel to bottom, 2 little pulse kicks, changing legs each time. And then relaxing there. So legs together. Lifting your right leg up off the floor, out to the side, back to the center and down. Same leg again. Lifting that right leg up off the floor, out to the side, back to the center and down. Harder option, we don't put it down, so keep it lifted as you move it out to the side and back to the center. And again, out to the side and back to the center. Let's do 5 more. And then let's change legs. So left leg lifting up, out, in and down. That's your option 1. Option 2, we don't put it down. So it stays lifted as you move out to the side and back to the center. And let's do 5 more. And then lengthening your arms in front of you as we lift opposite arm, opposite leg. And then relaxing there. So we're going to come back up onto our hands and knees, a small box position this time. So a nice level back, shoulders pulled back, tummy to spine. Stretching out, opposite arm, opposite leg. Hand to knee underneath and stretch back out again. But keep your back perfectly still. Slowly. And your option to slide on the floor if you need. Change sides. So lengthening, tapping hand to knee underneath, lengthening. Slow and controlled. Keeping your back still. Shoulders pulled back. Don't let your head drop though. And then relaxing there. So let's come back up to sitting. So start with those knees bent, arms in front of you. We take a little curl back halfway and then roll back up again. So we're just curling through that spine, tucking that tailbone, rolling back halfway and back up. Now we're going to add on, reaching back with one arm and then the other arm. So we're adding in a little twist. Look to that far corner of your mat as you roll back. Each time, come up tall. And then tuck that tailbone, roll back. So again, we're curling and straightening. Tucking and tilting that pelvis. Let's do one more each way. Good. Now lengthen both legs. Have a little wiggle back on those sitting bones as you stretch up tall. Folding forwards. Roll back up. So again, just listen to your own body as to how far you can reach. Good. Now let's make our way slowly back down to the floor. So make sure you've got room behind you. And again, think tucking that tailbone, tightening that belt from hip to hip as you roll back down your spine, one vertebra at a time. Let's reset, knees bent. So we're going to start with some bridges. So our focus today is on mobility of our spine. Think about tilting that pelvis first, so you're flattening your back, and then rolling up from that pubic bone, one vertebra at a time. Now slowly rolling back down. So this is the harder bit. As you roll down, think pushing it down one bit at a time. So again, rolling up your spine as you breathe in. Breathing out as you roll back down. Slowly with that tailbone. So really think about rocking that pelvis. Breathing out. Closing all exits underneath, drawing in pelvic floor. Let's do one more. So have a little rock, finding that halfway point, your neutral spine. Engaging pelvic floor. And let's start by lengthening your right leg. So again, stirring in the hip, making a circle with your leg, but keeping your left knee and hip still. So like you're tightening a belt an extra notch, tightening your tummy. Arms and shoulders relaxed. Change direction, stir the other way. And then let's change legs. Keeping your right knee and hip still. Change direction. And relaxing there. So lifting your arms, just taking them back as far as you can. Think about pulling your rib cage down towards your hips. And then bringing them back up to the ceiling. So let those shoulder blades drop into the floor. And again, just taking your arms back. But be aware of whether that upper back's arching. So pull your ribs down. So just mobility in our upper spine and shoulders. Now I could cheat and let those arms go back, but I know that I've arched here, my ribs have lifted, I'm arching in my lower back. So again, listen to your own body, just be aware where your tightness is. Some of you might be able to manage that quite easily. Let's hold that stretch this time. So arms reaching back. And then bringing your hands up to the ceiling, and again just relax those shoulder blades, picking up both legs. So like you're giving someone a hug, opening your arms out wide this time. Nice and slowly, let's move with our breath. So we're breathing in, arms opening. Breathing out, arms closing. Check that your knees just above your hips or a little further forward, but again, don't let that lower back arch. And relaxing there. Let's roll over onto your right hand side. Now, take a look. We're going to start with your hand on the floor, so arm outstretched like that. And then I want you to think about lifting up. So you're not lifting very high, you're lifting your head, maybe your armpit, your ribs. So think here, squeeze the muscles, working those obliques, working in your waist. One more. And relax. Now you can have your palm up or palm down, whichever's comfortable for you. We're going to have our hand on the floor and you're going to lift both legs. We're going to scissor your legs, one leg forward, one leg back. So they're not going to go very far. Think about keeping your hips stacked. And relaxing there. Now this time, just your top leg lifting. I want you to flex your ankle and lift that leg as high as you can today. And then back down. So ankle flexed, pushing your heel and foot away from you. Lifting that leg as high as you can. You can choose to have hand on the floor or off the floor. Good. Let's bend your top knee over, bottom leg lifting up and down as high as you can. So squeezing that inner thigh, but check you're still tightening that belt, one extra notch. Holding that leg up as high as you can. And then little pulses. And relax. So let's bend both knees. First of all, keeping your feet together, just check that there's a straight line down the back of your hips. Opening and closing top knee, but don't let that top hip roll. And then we're going to keep those knees together, lifting your top ankle. Still drawing in pelvic floor. And relaxing there. So let's just roll back over onto your back. Arms out wide. So knees and ankles together as you're just twisting your knees and hips from side to side. Let's keep feet on the floor for the moment. So just slowly tilting, keeping those arms flat on the floor. And then if you want to, legs lifted. Now either with your legs lifted, legs low, knees bent, or legs straight. This time a big circle, stirring your hips round in a big circle. Change direction. And relaxing there, have a little hug. So straight leg scissors, lengthen both legs. Now a little bit different today. I want you to hold your leg as you lower one leg. Bring it back up, change legs at the top. Okay, so that's pretty normal. But if you can, let's curl up your head and shoulders and reach for your calf today. Stay curled up. Change legs at the top each time. Still slowly. So curling up. One more time. And then relaxing there. So let's roll over onto your left hand side. So remember, hand flat, slide it away. So lifting up. Now you can see I find that a lot easier that side. And if you've got a slippy floor, you can let your hand slide as you lift up. Oops. You may want the other hand on the floor to help you balance, but try not to push with that hand. One more time. And relax. Have your hand either up or down, whichever's comfortable for you. Top hand on the floor, both legs lifted. Scissoring your legs forward and back. Slowly. Good. Now just your top leg lifting as high as you can. Again, flex the ankle so you're pushing your heel away from you, your foot away from you, and lifting that leg as high as you can. Bring that top knee over. So bottom leg lifting up and down. Still engaging pelvic floor. Hold that leg up. And relax. Let's bend both knees. Again, check those hips are stacked. Straight line down the back of your hips. Opening and closing that top knee. Just a handspan height so that top hip doesn't roll back. Squeeze your feet together, squeeze your glutes. Okay, knees together, lifting that top ankle. And then let's come back up to sitting. So you can sit with legs straight or legs bent. Nice tall spine though, arms outstretched. And just twisting round from one side to the other. Take your time, head and chest lifted. And relax. Give those shoulders a little shake. So a bit of flexibility is rolling. Rolling like a ball. So we've done our curls. This time, hands can be on the floor to help you as you lift your feet, tuck your chin. The action comes from tilting the hips to lose that balance. But it's a controlled balance. So your head doesn't touch the floor, just rolling back to those shoulder blades. And again, your feet don't fling over your head. They stay the same distance here, ankles to bottom, as here. You can do it without your arms on the floor. And you don't have to balance each time you come up. So if you need to, feet can come down on the floor. But always start in a balance. Tuck that tailbone, roll, and back up. Tuck that tailbone, roll, and back up. Let's do one more. Have a little hug. Now some flexibility in our shoulders is fingertips point to your toes, take them back behind you. All right, lift your head and chest and squeeze those shoulders back. So your easier option here is lifting one leg at a time. Our harder option, we lift one leg at a time, but your hips are lifted off the floor. So like a reverse plank. Strength and flexibility. Let's do 5 more. Hips lifted high. And relax there, have a little hug. So some side flexion. Now you can have legs out straight as you reach up and across. I'm still keeping those sitting bones pushing into the floor. Or mermaid, tuck your feet to one side, foot in front of your thigh, and then we lower down to your elbow one way and peel back up to the ceiling the other way. So still flexing sideways through your spine, flexing laterally. So if you've got your legs twisted to one side, change sides. Foot in front of your thigh, lowering down to your elbow one way, pulling back up to the ceiling. Good. Now we're going to come up to kneeling. So step your right foot forward, a kneeling lunge. Think about tucking your tailbone, so tucking that pelvis under. Squeeze your glutes. So you want to feel that stretch here on this back hip flexor. Now let's bring this front foot back towards your knee. Try and lower that heel. So you're getting a stretch then on the calf and the ankle. Yep, that's tight for me. Alright, let's change legs. So step your left foot forward. Again, a nice upright spine. Just tilt that pelvis. Squeeze your glutes. And hold it there. Squeeze your glutes harder. And release. Bring that front foot back a little bit. Now you may not feel anything. I can feel that tight around the back of my ankle all the way up into my calf. But let's finish on the back with our usual stretches. So hamstring stretch, lying on your back, lengthening your right leg up to the ceiling. Now another nice way you can do a stretch here is if you've got a band, or you can use a tie, a dressing gown, lead, whatever you've got, and just wrap it around the bottom of your foot. And then you can just think pushing your foot up as you're pulling your leg towards you. But if not, grab hold of the back of your thigh. Now if you're quite flexible, you can grab hold of that top calf, but don't grab behind the back of your knee. So either above or below the knee. And it's not about how close you can get your leg towards you. Keep your leg as straight as you can, and think push that lower back into the floor. Let's cross that ankle over, and then today, push your knee out away from you. Thread your hands around your left thigh and see if you can pull your leg in. Alright, let's change legs. So lengthen your left leg. Again, you choose, pulling it above the knee or below the knee. Keep that lower back pushing into the floor though. And then we're going to cross. Left ankle to thigh, knee pushes out. Hands thread round that right thigh and pull in. Lovely. Place both feet on the floor, arms out wide. So just tilt your knees to one side. Take a big breath in and out. And then change sides. So knees roll one way, head the other. Take a big breath in and out. Roll back to the centre. So if you want to lay here for a little bit longer, for a little bit of relaxation, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can make your way back up. That's the end of today's session. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.